Start in a few minutes. We are streaming on YouTube, my personal X account, BankX personal BankX account. We're also in the @BankXIO Telegram, and I think also Rumble and LinkedIn. So we'll see. We'll start here in a couple minutes. We're all set. All right, let's get started. Okay, welcome to BankX Boardroom number 7, July 21st. We are launching AI DeFi, and this has been long awaited, a couple years of discussion and just thought about what we would do with a system like this. AI DeFi is designed to automate everything you would do as a user in BankX. From AI DeFi perspective, that when you use it, you just simply drop native blockchain tokens in the system, and it will do everything that a user would do in BankX to take advantage of inefficiencies like buying the XSD stablecoin below the peg. What you get for putting native blockchain token in the system is you get your principal and interest back in the XSD stablecoin, which is designed to track the price of 1 gram of silver. So you could think of this as your crypto savings account where you put crypto in and you can withdraw any amount anytime. There is no lockup periods or anything like that. This has been about 7 months in development, and we are launching on Arbitrum first. So it'll be on Arbitrum ETH. Would be the native blockchain token that you would deposit. So you visit www.aidefi.io and you can connect your wallet and then enter the amount of native blockchain token that you'd like to put in the system. A couple things about AI DeFi. The way that we keep track of and calculate your interest is very similar and almost pretty much exactly the same as we do it for minting earns interest in the BankX system. So for each wallet, we store the principal amount that you have on deposit, your average weighted interest rate, and your accumulated interest, and it adjusts that every time you deposit and withdraw. So again, you can deposit and withdraw any amount that you like anytime. So with the AI DeFi system, in sort of the development of the requirements and the thought process behind this, I originally had it where it was 12 or 15 functions that AI DeFi would do. It would, mint in this sense, in this certain scenario. It would redeem. It would lock up BankX tokens. It could potentially arbitrage between the two pools, and it was just a huge list of things that I wanted the system to do in the beginning. And then in the development and sort of further evolution of the AI DeFi system, we shrunk it down to basically three functions to start off with the launch of AI DeFi, and it really, I think, captures everything that we want to have happen. First, if XSD is below the peg on that chain, it will buy XSD up to that point, and then once that condition is satisfied on that chain, so XSD is at the peg, then it will take all of the treasury in the treasury pool from the native blockchain tokens that have been deposited, and it will provide liquidity for XSD only. So it gets it to the peg, it gets XSD to the peg, and then it deepens the liquidity so it's harder to take off peg. And then once those two conditions are met, then it takes whatever's left over and it will buy the BankX token and it will burn that. So when I looked at all the things I wanted AI DeFi to do, I settled on those three as the most important and effectively accomplishing everything that we want to have done in the system. So AI DeFi is important because when we released BankX and we're onboarding people, BankX has a lot of things that you can do with it. It's a complex sort of decentralized stablecoin system designed to track the price of 1 gram of silver, the XSD stablecoin, and it's crypto backed. So I would spend all of this time in master classes and private master classes teaching people exactly how this works so that they could go in and really maximize all the capabilities of BankX. And then once that was done, then they needed to come back routinely and monitor the system. So with AI DeFi, we do that for you. So the system is constantly looking at BankX and doing the things that we want it to do. And then from a user perspective, this makes it very easy to onboard people, and you don't have to continually monitor the system. So when you talk about BankX, you could say, yeah, it's all these things that been proven in the market from other protocols and what BankX can do. But if someone just wants to be introduced to crypto, they could just deposit crypto in the native blockchain token in AI DeFi and leave it in as long as they like, and then they can withdraw in their principal and interest in the XSD stablecoin. So we have three contracts in AI DeFi. So there's the treasury pool, which manages who the deposits and withdraw and holds the native blockchain crypto. Then we have the rules engine, which performs all of the functions of the AI DeFi system. And then we have a Chainlink automation contract. So where Chainlink is available, we will deploy that contract. And so that is meant to be a backup automation to trigger the contracts. But when you use AI DeFi, and then later we'll embed the automation within the BankX system, meaning that as you're using BankX, it's also running the automation for AI DeFi. But when you make deposits and withdrawals, it's running the automation. So we have lots of ways that the contracts will be executed in the AI DeFi system, with Chainlink being being sort of the backup system for that. So with the AI DeFi system, this is our first chain on Arbitrum. So I want people to come in and test and use it. So I think it's wise to just start off slow. Don't put 100,000 in it quite yet. I think you could start slow and just get used to the system. We did not have CoinFabric audit it, and it has not yet gone through a white hat hacker program. And I'm inclined actually to not do either one of those, because my experience with that is that those weren't as valuable as releasing an application and having it live in production with real hackers trying to take it. So I'm inclined to go more that direction. If you've been around BankX, you know that we've done all of these things with BankX as far as audit and white hat hacker programs and all that. And the most value that we ever got from understanding where there was potential vulnerabilities in the BankX system was having it live in the wild, and BankX having real hackers come after it. Not to say that white hat hackers were not real, but people out there in the public doing that. So with that, I want to do a demo of the AI DeFi system so you can see exactly how this works and how easy it works. AI DeFi, you deposit native blockchain tokens like Ethereum, or in the instance here, Arbitrum Ethereum, as that's the chain we're launching on. When you deposit the native blockchain token, it uses that to automate things in the BankX systems and finds opportunities, whether the stablecoin is below the peg or things like that. Basically doing things that the BankX system needs to have done. And then at any time, there is no lockup period, you would withdraw, and the principal and interest would be paid in the XSD stablecoin from BankX. And the XSD stablecoin is pegged to the price of 1 gram of silver. So going through, this is just a one-page UI, one-page website. What the system does is it shows you your current interest rate here, and it's the same as minting earns interest rate in the BankX system. They both start at 5.28%. So this, as it is set now, will go up a half a point every day until the deposit capacity is filled. So this amount deposit capacity means how much the community can deposit in the AI DeFi system. Once it gets to that number, then it will shut it off and no deposits are allowed, but you can withdraw. So this number is based on the market cap of the XSD stablecoin, so it takes a percentage of that. So as the system grows, there's more and more XSD stablecoin, and as that supply grows, this capacity would get larger. We also track the total all-time deposited, so you could just see the amount of USD value that has flowed through the system. So a little description here, AI DeFi finds opportunities in the BankX system. And this was built because BankX, there's a lot of things going on in the system. So you have to learn it, and then you have to monitor it. So AI DeFi takes care of that for you in that it automates and monitors the system so you don't have to. And then again, your principal and interest is paid in the XSD stablecoin from BankX, and you click here and learn more about BankX on the website, and the same link is here. We have a terms of service, which you can also read here, that takes you to the BankX website. This is all the socials for BankX. So you want to join our Telegram, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on X, or you can watch other similar videos on Rumble. The first thing you would do in using the system is connect the wallet here, and that will connect your MetaMask. And if you don't have the XSD stablecoin in your wallet, you can click here and it'll automatically add that to your MetaMask wallet. And then here you could see that you are connected. As we launch on chains, you would just click this sidebar and it'll scroll and select through the different chains that we will deploy AI DeFi on, which would be all the chains that BankX is deployed on now. So look for announcements on that as we deploy on each of those chains. And this is a very easy system to use, so you don't have to learn all the details of the BankX system. Here we show you the present price of 1 gram of silver, and deposit, all you do is you enter the amount of Ethereum on Arbitrum that you would like to enter, or just whatever the native blockchain token is. So 1, and then it'll show you the present price of that native blockchain token, and you just click deposit. There'll be 2 approvals in your wallet to do this, and then it is deposited under your wallet. So if you're familiar with how we track your interest rate through different deposits and withdrawals in the minting process, we do the same. We do that the same way in the smart contract in AI DeFi. So for each wallet, we track your principal and USD amount that you've deposited, and that either increases when you deposit or decreases when you withdraw. And the interest rate will change. So every day that this capacity is not satisfied, this rate will go up 0.5%, and that's the way it's set now. So your interest rate could change depending on the timing of when you made the deposit. So whatever the rate was for that deposit, that will affect your average interest rate. So if you deposited some at 6%, let's say you deposited $50 at 6%, and then you deposited $50 at 8%, your average weighted interest rate would be 7% on the entire USD balance, if that makes sense. And then it would show your interest earned to date, as long as you keep this in. So you can make multiple deposits anytime you like. You can withdraw any amount that you like as you go through. And this is, and for withdrawal, all you would do is enter the number of XSD. So depending on the price of 1 gram of silver, it will deduct that USD value from your USD balance in your account within AI DeFi. So that is a quick look at the AI DeFi system. You visit www.aidefi.io and you can deposit native blockchain tokens, and then to start off on Arbitrum, and you can start earning this interest in the system. So visit www.aidefi.io. So that was the AI DeFi quick sort of demonstration there. So everyone, I don't think it gets any easier from a UI perspective as far as us being able to onboard people into the BankX system using AI DeFi. So that again is going to be it's launched on Arbitrum ETH, and I think it's important as we launch, sort of take it slow and get used to the system. You can sort of get used to how it works and depositing, withdrawing, and seeing it actually do the things that we've been talking about. So again, the three main functions are: it first buys XSD to get that to the peg, and then once that condition is met, it will add liquidity to the XSD liquidity pool. Once those two conditions are met, XSD to peg, and it has satisfied the capacity of the liquidity pool for XSD, determined by the BankX system, then it will buy the BankX token and burn it. So if you are an existing XSD and BankX token holder, this is a great way. If you're looking to sell some, it onboards people and provides a way for you to exit out of those tokens. So that is the AI DeFi system. So the other thing that I wanted to, so I have a number of updates. The one thing I wanted to talk about specifically with AI DeFi before we get into some of the other things is AI DeFi was written completely with artificial intelligence. Now, that doesn't mean that we just let AI do it all. It was more acting like a junior programmer with our team overseeing it. So what I wanted to do was this experiment where we had AI write it where it was sort of like pair coding, I guess you could say, where it was me and the development team, and then very tightly controlled and monitored everything that came out. We had reviewed and tested. We deployed AI DeFi, I think, probably 50 times, testing and iterating through the system that we finally launched on Arbitrum ETH. Out of this, or as a part of this, is we built our own in-house AI software coding system that's proprietary. We will not productize. It will be all of our own competitive advantage, where we don't just go to the prompt basically and have it code, and it's not vibe coding. We do batch processing. We have multiple LLMs. We integrate with GitHub. There's some other things that we do unique to our own system to help to refine requirements, do the actual coding, to do static analysis on vulnerabilities. So that project or that application internal to us is called Neo. So you should be hearing more about that as we develop more things for BankX, where we sort of implement new features and things like that. So that is something I think is very cool about the BankX family of applications. So you can look at AI DeFi as like, well, AI helped to write it, or it could be a meaning of automation intelligence, right? So that is that I think covers everything on AI DeFi. The other sort of going through, I think, or what some important updates around BankX and things like that, is that it's looking like this will be my last live stream from this sort of setup here in Los Angeles. It's heading towards the direction where I'm going to move to Miami. I think the opportunity for crypto, fintech, all of that is, I think, better there. They call it Crypto City. The mayor takes a salary in Bitcoin. So I will be there after some months or so, a couple months. So if people know others in crypto in Miami, I would like to, maybe be introduced and get to know people there. So that's something going on with me personally, and wanted to make a note of that to everyone in the BankX community. So the other things that I wanted to cover, as the community knows, we had an exploit in the system through the router contract. So they were again using address rotation and flash loans that were manipulating the price, and they were able to basically pull money out of the liquidity pool. So we have since enhanced our circuit breakers within the router contracts and deployed those on all chains, so that countermeasure is in place. The other thing that they were doing was taking advantage of the rounding down of Solidity. So if you have a small number, it'll round down to 0 as an example. And so they were effectively able to put in a trade, but then Solidity would round it down and they would get, $3 or $4 every time for doing it. And they were doing it once an hour. So that is why we put a minimum swap on all the routers. So right now it's set to 10 USD. If they're able to still sort of work around it or whatever, we'll increase it to 25, but we think that should cover it. As I mentioned earlier, there was a comment from a community member like, well, how do you know the hacks aren't coming from internally? So again, we had an audit by CoinFabric. We had 2 white hat hacker programs. And, again, the real value of testing the vulnerability of a system is to have it in production and in the wild where anyone can sort of see if they can poke holes in it. So we have learned a ton of ways that hackers operate, and I think we've responded to those well and put in the necessary countermeasures. So from a BankX perspective, we continue, and I think fortify the system to where it's as strong as it has ever been. So AI DeFi, I think, is a good place to sort of do that same let it be in production and see what, if any, vulnerabilities are there. So in general, like the kind of thoughts on Solidity development, it is very difficult. People don't realize how much effort we have put in to do all of this. Sort of criticisms of Solidity, they're to me, it's not very easy to develop on. And then I think if you're going to have a programming language that's programming money, that there should be inherent securities in there. Like, you shouldn't be able to do these things that, we've sort of experienced in the BankX system. But that's just more of a personal opinion. The other thing I've been asked quite regularly about the Pulse Chain deployment. So we have committed to using the Signum pricing oracle with when that launches, but I'm not going to wait anymore for that to launch. We're going to have a centralized manual solution that I'm working on. So as soon as that's done, I will have that deployed, and we can at least have some representation on the Pulse Chain blockchain until Signum deploys, and then we could just swap out the pricing oracles. So the way we're evaluating now is we could use some alternative oracle, but still the silver price most likely will be that because it doesn't move around a lot, is that I'm going to just, as an admin, or the admin key can go in and set the silver price. We don't move too much around, so I think that will be okay for the short term. But that's what we're considering for the Pulse chain deployment. So as we get closer to that, we could give a definitive that we're going to release it on Pulse chain, sort of with that pricing oracle scenario. If you have been in our Telegram group, you'll know that the last several months I have an AI clone that has been released, as you could say. It's Delta V. So we continue to refine him, and I talk about him like he's a person, right? So he's been trained on everything BankX. He'll be fed AI DeFi, so he can help with all the onboarding and outbound marketing. You will now be able to have one-on-one conversations with him. So you could strategize and talk about how you can further the BankX cause and bring more people in. So that is available. The DM will be actually is available on Telegram. So you can message Delta V directly and have personal conversations with him about BankX. So we're also going to start to expand the number of influencers that he interacts with, and then to continue to refine and give him more responsibilities. So it is wild what he can do. He's been given all of the information about BankX, every video that's ever been that I've ever done, the white papers, everything about the system. So please don't hesitate to give us any feedback on, like, hey, you didn't really do this correctly or whatever, because we want to constantly refine him to the point of, I think, some point this year where Delta V, he will be fully autonomous and we will just let him see what he does, right? So pretty exciting to see that. So we're doing a lot of things with AI. The other announcement I wanted to make is that we have dramatically lowered the NFT price to respond to sort of market conditions where more people are paying attention to meme coins. What I would say about the NFT is, like, while JPEG NFTs have sort of fallen off, that utility NFTs I think are still very much alive, and I think very important to the BankX system, as it is a unique sort of passionate members of BankX, and for that you get the exclusive currency creator group where we put more information in there before everyone else finds out about it. You get boosted rewards when you lock up the NFT with BankX tokens, and then at certain TVL milestones you're paid XSD for each NFT. So we have lowered that down to 0.1 ETH. So all the ETH native blockchain token chains, it's 0.1, and a similar price for the other sort of like Avalanche, Polygon, those chains that aren't using ETH as their native blockchain token. So take a look again at that. Delta V even has its own referral link for that. So he's going to be aggressively pushing that out there. And so if you haven't gotten your referral link for the NFT, you just go to app.bankx.io and go to the NFT screen. After you connect your wallet, you'll be able to see your referral link. We have also been doing a lot of work on the Lockbox solution, which is our unique take on wallet custody. So I'll just sort of leave it at that, and there's just been a lot of development on that system. So I'll keep everyone updated as we get close to the completion of the development of that, and there'll be sort of extensive testing. And then we would sort of release it on, I will have, it's looking like a bounty for someone that can hack a wallet that I put in this system. So that is the updates. There's been lots of development, as you can see, and things happening within BankX, and we're excited to see AI DeFi and the use of that application. I wanted to make some thoughts or give some thoughts on a lot of the crypto legislation that's coming through. So the Genius Act was just signed. So I think it gives like 120 days after the regulators have come up with all the regulations from the law, and then I think there's a 3-year phase out of people who are not complying, or they have that time to comply. So I read through the law as much as I could handle it. It's quite, I think it's like 100 pages or something. So I am already talking with the legal team about, does this impact BankX? If it does, what do we need to do? So I think the best case scenario is that BankX doesn't fall under the Genius Act, and then the worst case is like we couldn't comply, so we would have to potentially block U.S. citizens out of using BankX. So we just have to see where we fall on that. An initial look at it is, depending on what regulations they do, it doesn't look like we fall under that, because Genius Act is all about a payment stablecoin that uses a national currency for a fixed value that it redeems. So it's really sort of geared, and I think very narrowly focused at sort of the dollar stablecoin and using that as a payment system. I think the administration wanted to really protect that, and sort of in this next age of digital currencies, how does the U.S. maintain control of its financial dominance around the world? So I think that's what they were after. What's interesting is we see potentially, I think Trump is going to sign an executive order where you could put crypto in your 401k. So obviously that's enormous. There's another law that we think is going to pass where they will not allow the Federal Reserve to release a CBDC, which is enormous. That has been the entire movement of BankX, where we wanted to be the anti-CBDC. We wanted to be the pro-freedom, pro-individual alternative to CBDCs. So even if that law is signed, there's still going to be other places in the world where a CBDC is going to be released, and we want to be the alternative for people to have complete control of their own financial world and their life on what they want to do. The Clarity Act is interesting because finally we know where crypto will fall into, which would be mostly a commodity unless you structure it where it would fall under a security. So that, I think, is very interesting. We'll see how that all shakes out. But that is all I wanted to cover today. And if you haven't joined our socials, you can join X or Telegram at BankXIO, or our YouTube channel is also at BankXIO. And we look forward to feedback and use of the AI DeFi system. So I'm guessing probably weeks, maybe a month, we'll start to deploy on other chains. I want to get people using it and see their feedback with the AI DeFi system. So with that, that was BankX Boardroom 7. I appreciate everyone tuning in and look forward to seeing you and getting your feedback on AI DeFi. Thank you very much.